Hey man, you want to hold the camera?
Yeah, yes.
Put up a little stopwatch here.
Can you at least like put it like over there so you're not holding it in your hand the whole time?
I can hold it.
No, because he wants it in frame. He wants it in frame so I don't touch on it.
Yeah, we can just put it in the back there.
Yeah, that's fair. Just make sure you got to move it to the side. I don't want it to be behind your head. Yeah, that's perfect. I'm just trying to do right by you here. I don't want to. I'm not trying to play a game with you. Someone come and make sure I don't frame it out. Do you see the stopwatch back there? There you go. All right, we're rolling. All right, can you? Oh, one sec. You gotta. All right, there we go. Can you introduce yourself to the camera?
Hello, I'm Ice Poseidon. How are you?
Ice Poseidon, tell me about how you became a live streamer. Tell me how you got into IRL.
Well, I started off playing RuneScape when I was younger, and I started live streaming RuneScape because it's a fun game to play, and you know, it's. I was like, well, we'll stream it, so I streamed RuneScape.
What was your name on RuneScape?
Ice Poseidon, and then I got bored of RuneScape, moved into IRL, and I mean that's basically it. Long story short.
What is your favorite location in RuneScape? You're more of like a Varrock guy, or you like Al Kaharid? Members only area that I don't know about. I was a free RuneScape player.
I like Artie, Ardogan.
Not familiar with that area.
There's a lot of Markynextdoor, really cute. You can insure your pet there. Pretty nice.
So, a lot of people say you created IRL by walking outside with your laptop. Is that how it happened?
You know, so obviously the whole created IRL thing is very interesting to say because there's always been streamers around, but I definitely popularized it within America, yeah. At least on Twitch.
So how did like all of these guys get in the picture? How did it become like you and your merry gang of streamers?
I took a lot of inspiration from Howard Stern. You know, he would be the host.
I love Howard as well.
And then you just have people come in and help make content with you.
Explain to me like the story structure of an IRL stream, because I think you're kind of the master of that, right? You're good at like, yesterday you talked to Mando on the phone and I send you a $3 TTS saying call me, and you say, no, I don't trust you, so I want to talk to you in person. Is that not kind of moving the story along?
Well, I wanted to talk to you in person because obviously most of human communication is with body language, and if I'm on the phone with you, I can't see your body language, so that's the reason why. But it also, you know, makes it interesting as well for my stream, you know, to see you face to face in person instead of just on the phone. So, you know, I want to get some content as well out of this.
That's why I cut my hair for you.
You added some value there.
All I'm trying to do here is make it valuable for you too. Because this, I won't deny that having this interview with you is valuable for me in my film.
Even though you said you didn't want to interview you.
I said that I don't want to interview you if you don't want to do it, and I said that I don't need to do it because technically you're not like involved in this story, right? You don't have any. You met Johnny Somali one time. Tell me about the time you met Johnny.
Well, have you ever met a homeless guy and gave him $5, and then a camera crew came to you asking you questions about this homeless guy?
No, can't say that that's ever happened to me, but I'm...
Why is that?
Well,
because you don't really know the homeless guy.
The homeless guy is also a really popular live streamer, and you're the most popular live streamer in the entire world.
Still don't know him.
What happened when he sniped you?
So when Johnny Somali sniped me, better way to put it.
What is sniping?
When you're watching the stream and you're going to go and find the person live.
How often has that happened to you in your career?
All the time. That's why you're here.
I'm here because of Mando.
Yeah, but you sniped me.
Mando sniped you. I'm just along for the ride.
You and Mando both sniped me.
Mondo's the expert stream sniper. I would not even know where to start with that.
I'm sure you can figure it out. But, so when he stream sniped me, I don't really remember. It was such a small interaction. I think he just came. He was just like, I really don't remember. I mean, he was just trying to have a conversation with me. I was like, I don't really like you. Don't fuck with you. I don't really want to be around you. But, you know, hope you can do better.
What did you know about him at the time when you said, hope you can do better?
Well, you know, obviously he was going through all the issues in Japan with saying all the things that he said that made the whole country hate him.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't want to involve myself with that, so, you know, I wasn't trying to be around him. But I just said, hope you can do better. Like, you know, change up your content. Make it so people don't hate you. You don't have to be hated to make good content.
People have hated on you in the past, and like they've hated on you for making good content. Why do you think people hate on you?
Well, I mean, I'm very controversial for many reasons, but you know, I have a lot of people come into my streams, and you know, we'll have like edgy jokes and stuff, and we'll do edgy things. But you know, it's all within a controlled environment, so it's a little bit different.
I think that's a really important thing to touch on. That like this type of stuff, they're all streamers here, and any conflict or something that happens is on stream. Versus Johnny's content is usually between him and random people on the street.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't get consent from the people he's fucking with. You know, obviously the people that are around me are all consenting to being in a controlled environment with me, so it's a lot different.
Was Japan the first time you met Johnny Somali, or had you guys ever met prior, maybe in Thailand?
I've never met him in Japan. And who's talking to you?
No, I'm helping out with questions.
All right, well, maybe you should do your research before you answer. You come at me with questions, because I've never met him in Japan.
No, you had mentioned Japan. So that's why I was asking what the kind of question
He caused issues in Japan.
Correct.
He stream sniped me in Thailand for about 5 minutes before I left. Okay?
Yep.
So you don't need to phrase it to me like that.
So why then?
Which, by the way, for the viewers watching, if he doesn't cut this out, I don't trust any of these guys. I'm only doing this interview to try to be self-preservation.
Definitely going in there. Not cut out.
I mean, expected. That's fine. Self-preservation.
I think you're gonna be pleasantly surprised again. I think that.
Well, then that's fine. If I'm pleasantly surprised and I look like a dickhead, then I'll take that.
I don't think you look like a dickhead. Again, I want to talk about that more and like dive deep on why you are ambivalent to talking to people outside of your circle.
Okay.
Why? What? I mean, generally, what happens with you, from my understanding, is that people who are outside your circle reach out to you. Or from what you've told me tonight, people reach out to you. They act all, you know, interested in you and saying they want to tell your story in a cool way, and then they flip on you.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of documentary filmers.
You
Obviously,
said Dextero, you said?
yeah, Dexterdo, and like a lot of documentary filmmakers obviously just will say anything to get content with you, but then at the end of the day, they want to flip the narrative because they want the audience to agree with them. And, you know, going after controversial figures is an easy way to get views, but they also don't want to side with the controversial person because then the viewers will be like, why are you siding with this fucking scumbag?
I think the type of documentary...
So that's why I don't like talking to documentary people.
I think the type of documentary you're talking about, by the way, is like an incredibly like narrative, linear piece, and not like something like YouTube documentaries, right? Or like internet documentaries usually have a person. And I think in this situation, you're imagining me on camera being like, and then I met up with Ice Poseidon. Blah, blah, blah. Like, I think that's kind of what you think my work is.
Yeah, I just don't know what you're gonna say post edit. So, you know, you're gonna add stuff. You're gonna add commentary post.
No, that's what I'm saying, is there's no real commentary for me. I don't come on camera and tell people what to think or how to feel. I use the footage like a real documentary does. You've watched real documentaries.
Yeah.
I use the footage and cut, but I could have said this to you earlier, associative form. you say something, and then I cut to the thing you're talking about, and that puts the story along. I gotta do a battery swap here.
By the way, Paul, I'll even give you like a full backup of all this, so you also have your own record.
I mean, it's fine. I have my stream.
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't matter.
There we go. Sorry about that. So, after you were sniped by Johnny Somali, he continued to talk about you. You obviously, like, it was kind of out of sight, out of mind. Is that correct?
I mean, yeah, everybody talks about me.
No, but like, what after you met Johnny, it's not like you continued thinking about him or like seeing his clips or anything really. You were doing your big.
Oh yeah.
Talk to me about the big stream. Talk to me about the 100-day stream.
I mean, I'm doing a 100-day live stream, Japan, Korea, live for 100 days, 24/7. It's
What happens at the end of the 100 days?
I secure a huge bag.
But I saw a clip of you saying you're going to retire after this.
And I was trolling.
Oh, okay.
I only say that to bait TTS.
Other battery swap. There we go. So, after you were sniped by Johnny Somali, he continued to talk about you. When was the next time you heard that he had said something about you?
I mean, never until I came to Korea.
What happened in Korea? You're talking about like this whole thing?
Like this whole thing, yeah.
But
I mean,
tell me about him saying he was going to rape your girlfriend and stuff. What about that?
Yeah, I mean, when I came to Korea here, I was with my girlfriend and we were all streaming, whatever. I mean, she wasn't on camera, but, you know, and then he was like, oh, I'm going to fuck with them in Korea. I'm going to stream snipe and fuck with them. I should stream snipe his girlfriend. I should blah, blah, blah. And, I'm going to fucking rape Kimberly and, like, I'm going to, you know. And then he was sending me DMs saying he's going to kill me and stuff.
Can you show me the DMs?
Yeah, I mean.
I just did like, oh, phone's over there. Can someone go tap on it because I can't see the. There you go. I'm just trying to keep myself honest here.
That's fine.
I like all of the safeguards you've put in place here. It's a nice challenge to to show you that I'm not fucking with you.
All right, so as you can see here, we have a
Here you go.
We have a story from him right here. That story, which is now unavailable, was threatening to kill me for no reason. He just wants clout. And then he messaged a few months later, it looks like, saying,
Can you read it out loud?
Saying, can you please try to pull some strings, give me unbanned ice? We both know I'm good content. I owe you a lot. Think about having a slave in the 1800s. Sometimes it's good to have people indebted to you. Yeah, so I didn't respond to him because I don't want to get him unbanned because I don't like him. And then he did another story a month later threatening to kill me again.
And I'll probably get those stories so that I can cut to that as well.
Well, you know, obviously, before anybody says, you know, you can tag anybody in an Instagram story. I have no contact with him.
Okay, but how did that make you feel when you saw that story and when your chat told you that he was saying that type of shit?
Oh, I don't care. I mean, I get death threats every day. He's just another death threat. Obviously, he's not going to kill me.
But you've talked about him a lot on your stream.
No, I have not.
Well, like you've talked about like people who go and collaborate with him.
I say anybody who collabs with Johnny Somali is a scumbag, and I don't want to hang out with him. I don't like them. Why would I want to associate with somebody who openly associates with another person who threatened to rape my girlfriend, kill me, and is just a total scumbag to the entire world?
Yeah, I understand that. And I think more than that, you have an obligation as the face of the streaming world to set an example. And by collaborating with someone like Johnny, you're co-signing the stuff he does.
Yeah, so...
And by having people in your community like Mando go be buddy-buddy with him, it makes it look like you're co-signing that stuff, and that's why
Yeah.
you have that rule.
And Mando lost $5K a month from a weight loss challenge because he decided to go hang out with him and be buddy-buddy with him.
I understand that actually, and I think that like I'd love to talk a little more with you about like the weight that you carry with the like position of power you have in streaming.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like, why would I want to give Mando $5K a month for a weight loss journey that I promised him? If he's going to go hang out with this guy and threaten to rape my girlfriend and like threaten to kill me and it's just a fucking scumbag. Like, I don't want to help Mando at that point. You know what I mean? I told him, I tell other people, don't hang out with Johnny Somali. That dude is just bad news. Nothing positive will come from it. He's banned on Kick. So there's not even any content you can make with him because you can't even show him. He's banned. So what's the benefit here? There's no benefit.
How does that work with the banning? Like, so if like someone in this room was banned on Kick, they wouldn't be allowed to be shown.
Somebody in this room is banned on Kick. His name is Chicken Andy. And,
Oh, there he is.
And
He hasn't said much.
yeah, he's not allowed to talk, and we can't show him on camera.
You were originally.
But he was banned for no reason, almost. So it's all right.
Yeah, I saw. You were originally on YouTube, and then you were on Twitch, and now you're on Kick. Talk to me about.
No, I was originally on Twitch.
Oh, you're originally on Twitch, then you're on YouTube, and then you're on
Yeah.
Kick. Sorry. Explain to me the pyramid of streaming, as it were, going all the way down to like shit apps like Party and Rumble and stuff like that.
Like my history with the platforms?
No. Just like to someone who doesn't know, you know, like I want to like cut to when I have like a bunch of different stuff like Mando talking about like these different streaming platforms. Explain to me like kind of as an expert on this stuff, the world of all the different platforms you can stream on and kind of what the benefit is of streaming on Kick versus the benefit of streaming on YouTube or Twitch.
Well, there's no benefit to stream on YouTube. The only benefit I can think of is if you're lucky enough, you can get into the recommended algorithm and get a lot of new viewers that way. Twitch has, you know, Prime subs and bounties and all this, you know, different ways to make money, and a huge ecosystem of content creators that you can, you know, collaborate with. Kick, big ecosystem of content creators you can collaborate with, but also you get paid hourly on KCIP. So even a small streamer can make, you know, tons of money, 10, 20K a month, which you can't get on any other platform. Rumble is, if you do politics, I don't know, and then Party is if you're
Banned everywhere else.
banned everywhere else.
Talk to me more about Party. Where like is Party's like fairly new. What do you know about Party?
I mean, I don't know anything about it. It's just a...
You know who Brian Gallagher is?
Who?
Brian Gallagher?
No.
He's the CEO of Party.
I mean, I went to Party, it looks like shit, never went back on it again. Like, I opened the app, I said...
Do you know about like it's being backed by crypto and stuff like that?
It's like a crypto site or something, but I don't really know. I opened the app one time, saw the UI, closed it.
Can I tell you something really interesting about Party?
Oh.
It is backed by crypto, like you said. If you go on Party, the site feels really bad, and your phone gets super hot, and the battery spikes. If you're on a gaming PC, your PC starts doing all this extra work. Do you know what's happening? It's mining crypto.
Do you have evidence of that? That's a pretty huge claim.
I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true.
Like, they're mining Bitcoin.
They're mining Solana and Ethereum.
I mean, that's really bad.
They're using people's phones and computers remotely to mine crypto to then pay out the streamers that are on that platform. That's part of why I'm out here.
Is that known by the viewers?
Nobody knows this. I've recently found this out.
Then that is certainly illegal.
That is the scoop, by the way. That's why this isn't a hit piece. The person this is a hit piece on is Party.com.
Okay.
I was just waiting till we're sitting down to tell you that. But like, yeah, I'm coming after Party. And I think, by the way...
What's your, like, why are you going after Party in particular?
Because they gave Mr. Base money.
Okay.
And I fucking hate him and I want to see him burn.
Alright.
Also, there was a fucking summary judgment and he's going to have to pay me $250K eventually.
Alright, I mean,
I sued him in civil court and he never responded in 20 days.
I wonder if you'll get that. Alright.
creditors and such. He has a living trust that has over $1 million in it, so I can garnish the trust.
Okay. What'd you sue him for? What?
You don't see the scar on my forehead?
I mean, yeah. What is that?
He hit me in the head. He attacked me.
Okay.
I proved that he murdered that girl, and he said, go get the FOIA from the Miami Beach PD. And I said, okay. And I went and got it, and I went to ask him a question about it, and he took a selfie stick just like that, and the metal part on it, and hit me in the head as hard as he could, and my whole head split open. And I screamed, somebody help! This guy's attacking me! And I screamed like a bitch in New York, and everyone made fun of me. And he pled guilty to a misdemeanor to make it all go away, and pleading guilty in criminal court makes it really easy to sue someone in civil court.
Okay. I mean, cool.
But yeah, that's why I don't fuck with Party.
Well, hey, if you do this and you get Party shut down, you might actually be doing the world a favor, because Johnny Somali will then have nowhere to stream.
He wants to be unbanned on Kick and come back into your good graces. Could you explain to me why that wouldn't happen?
Well, first of all, he was never in my good graces.
He wants to be in your good graces.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. When you threaten to rape someone's girlfriend and give them death threats, why would I ever like that person? So the answer to that is no. I have higher quality people that I can be around. Why would I want to lower myself to be around him in any way? And will Kick ever unban him? Probably not, because he literally is the reason why Kick had so much bad PR in Japan that needed to be fixed.
How do you fix something like that?
You get people in Japan to stream on Kick, which is what they've done. A bunch of Japanese streamers now stream on Kick. They advertise KCIP, they advertise how good the platform is, and the PR is slowly getting better.
As someone who's at the forefront of this, top of Kick all the time, CEO of Kick is in your chat a lot of the time, what steps do you personally have to take to help protect the platform, but also, protect the careers of all these streamers that you've helped uplift?
Well, setting boundaries, like don't hang out with Johnny Somali. Because otherwise, then he's still relevant by association. Things like that, People need to understand boundaries. They need to understand content boundaries as well. Don't go around do fucking stupid shit that's going to get the platform in heavy shit. Get yourself in heavy shit. You got to follow basic boundaries.
As someone who's a producer on this film now, because you get Final Cut now because I cut my hair, how do I tell this story in a way that doesn't do what you're saying, like spread Johnny or uplift him in the way that you're talking about?
Well, I mean, it's impossible. You're making content on him, so it keeps him relevant.
But
which allows him to continue to do what he's doing.
There's a lot of people out there who make content on him, like Legal Mindset, Atozy, guys who really have way more subs than me. I have 33K subs. I'm not a big...
And Legal Mindset is not doing this content out of any sort of genuine reason. He just wants money, obviously. He's keeping Johnny Somali...
500 gifted last stream.
He's keeping Johnny Somali relevant so he can continue to make content out of him, obviously.
I'd love to talk more about Legal Mindset if you're interested.
I mean, sure. He tried to come at me, but I got, I know who that dude is, and he's got a glass house.
I have stuff that I'd love to tell you that I can't say with all the streams going, but maybe we'll talk
Why
about
not?
it. Because I'm waiting on a FOIA report before I can make any definitive statements.
Yeah, I don't like Legal Mindset because he tries to come at me when I don't do anything.
I'll say this. People calling him pedo mindset and stuff like that, it's not for no reason. And there's a reason why he's in Thailand and not in Gainesville, Florida anymore.
Yeah, he would be potentially in prison.
And not for the credit card thing.
Well, I don't know about anything else, but I just know about the credit card thing.
Well, that's all I'll say for now on that. Tell me about what he came after you.
When I was in Japan, he came after me because, I'm you know, it's just like an easy, low-hanging fruit for him to go after. You know, I have a bad reputation. People like to shit on me, so he just comes after me. I Poseidon's in Japan. Is he going to be a nuisance streamer? But no, I mean, I'm not a nuisance streamer. I don't go around and harass people. You know, I stick to myself. I stick to the people around me that are streamers, and we just do our own thing.
What does like a regular Ice Poseidon stream look like in this 100-day journey?
Oh man, my favorite. So I wake up in the morning.
Wait, not in the morning. Wake up at like 3 today.
I'll wake up at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'll get some breakfast from McDonald's, and then I'll hop on a train and take a 3-hour train ride to the next hotel that's 5 stars, and then I will get some lunch and get some room service, and then I will do nothing for 6 hours, then go to bed. Not before I go on steak, though, of course. Steak.com.
Talk to me about steak a little bit.
What about it? It's the #1 casino in the world.
Talk to me about the relationship between Kick and Steak and.
Well, there's no relationship. They're
They're like,
separate entities, but the same company who owns Steak also owns Kick, obviously.
A company like Twitch.
Well, not the same company, but the same like guy at the top.
A company like Twitch is owned by Amazon. They don't have to worry about like overhead stuff like that because it's owned by Amazon, right? A company like Party doesn't have to worry about money because they're farming crypto on people's funds.
I was wondering where they got all their money from.
Also, the CEO is in Dubai and is like incredibly rich and stupid. Kick is so interesting to me because it has this kind of controversial reputation, but it also is home to so many streamers who make their livelihood there and who are generally positive. I mean, look at this guy over here. He makes great content. I haven't watched your streams, but I'm sure you make really interesting stuff, especially while you've been out here doing this. This guy, I mean, the most W content out there. I don't know if you watched his stream. Yeah, the way he's always holding the phone like this.
Yeah.
What is it about streaming that audiences like?
I mean, a lot of people are parasocial. They don't have any friends. They want somebody to hang out with all day. Or if they're working and they don't have anything else to do, they'll watch streams all day. And, you know, they'll be like friends with the streamer and, you know, they just like to spend time with the streamer. I mean, that's, I think, 50% of the audience. The other 50% just likes to watch content and not parasocial. And, you know, stuff they find funny and, you know, entertaining. So those are the 2 main reasons.
Here's another reason that I've noticed. The chat all knows each other. And it's not just on like one streamer's stream. They, especially in like a network like you've created, there's a lot of chatters that are kind of omnipresent in everyone's streams. And they all kind of talk to each other. They're not even talking to the streamer sometimes. Sometimes they're just all talking to each other in chat. Talk to me about the communities that get built around IRL.
I mean, communities that for IRL streamers are obviously very active because those kind of viewers are very parasocial. And, you know,
Your phone went out, by the way, again.
They like to, they like to talk to each other because, you know, they don't really have much going on, I assume. I mean, they're parasocial for like half of them. So they like to be involved in a community of like-minded people so they can feel welcomed somewhere.
How do you go about making your community welcoming?
By bringing in people that the viewers can all collectively shit on together.
Is that where you brought in Mando from?
Oh yeah, Mando's a great person to just absolutely shit on.
How so?
I mean, come on. I mean, no offense to Mando. I think Mando is a funny guy. I think he's got great humor. But, you know, he does things that are very funny to laugh at for the viewers. And it's entertaining. It's the Howard Stern shit I was telling you about. He had Beetlejuice, a little fucking short guy.
I'd say Mondo's more Artie Lang.
Mando is a 500-pound obese homeless person, which is an insane thing to find. So he is, like, the viewers can relate to each other by being like, oh, this is hilarious. You know what I mean?
What for you as like the talent seeker. I won't say kingmaker or anything like that because you're right that's wrong. You're kind of the talent agent of IRL. How about that? What do you look for in a streamer? And we'll bring this back to Johnny.
Well, you know, if somebody's just entertaining, I mean, that's a good first step.
What is it to be entertaining in IRL though?
Well, there's multiple ways. I mean, you can just be funny, you can be active, you can be, you know, you can go out there and start doing creative new ideas. There's that. Or, if none of that fits your boat, then you can just look funny and have funny circumstances like Mando.
I think something special about Mando is that he's got a really good heart. He's really cares about the people around him, and he really tries to like help them do their thing, whatever that thing may be. Do you seek out people who are like helpful in that way?
Do I seek out people who have a good heart?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you're a good person, that would be great as well.
Do you think Mando has a good heart?
I think Mando has a good heart. I think he is self-destructive, obviously, but besides that, I think he's a good heart. Yeah. I don't want to be around a bunch of scumbags. You know what I mean? Some of the people I'm around are a little iffy. Like, I don't really like hanging out with them. But
You're hanging out with me right now.
Yeah, I don't really like you, but I'm hanging out with you because, you know. But I'll do certain things for my stream.
Totally.
You know, I'm willing to look past a lot of things for my stream, but there's just some boundaries that I won't cross.
And I think having seen that I'm out here talking to Johnny and still having me come sit down and talk to you, I think that's, you know...
Yeah, I really didn't want to talk to you because I'm like, you're just going to try to wrap me up in some shit, but...
Can you tell by the way this conversation's going that that's not what's happening now?
I mean, so far so good.
This is the way I do all my interviews.
I just, you know, I had a bad impression of you, and but I was like, well, I think I have to do this anyways, so people can hear my words, because I think you're going to add my name to the documentary regardless. So I'd rather them hear it from me.
I think that I'm glad that I got to sit down with you because one, you're right that I really wanted to, and I may have said earlier that I didn't, but I was just kind of trying to play it cool a little bit. But I wanted to talk to you. I did.
I already knew.
Yeah, but the reason why I wanted to talk to you is not because you're so famous or because you're the king of live streaming. It's because I think that you can speak to this stuff in more of an expert way than even Mando or anyone else can. And I think that like your mind in this is so interesting to me. It's something that I'd love to try to unpack. Like, how do you manage all of this? How do you, like, is it stressful for you to live this life?
It is stressful, yeah. I mean, the viewers may not think so, but it's very stressful, yeah.
It seems really stressful.
You know, you have to always be on your toes, you know what I mean? There's always people around who are just waiting for an opportunity for you to slip up or fuck around or whatever, you know. And also, besides that, there's also a lot of people counting on me financially, you know what I mean? And, you know, us doing content together, like, it really helps them and gives them, like, increased KCIP earnings and, you know, things like that. So, I have a lot of weight on my shoulders. And then the viewers obviously expect, like, you know, good content, so.
How do you balance the business side of this? And again, this is something that I think Johnny really, like, dropped the ball on. And if he had focused on the business side of things, he might not be in the situation that he's in. How do you balance content and, like, having crazy stuff happen on your stream versus, like, being business-minded and making sure that it's within the, like, guardrails of this world that you've created?
Well, I mean, from a business standpoint, you want to make good content. You want to make content that's, you know, maybe a little bit, you know, shocking sometimes, but you don't want to do anything that's, you know, gonna make it hard to come back from. You know, you don't want to just disgust the entire world. You don't want to make everybody in the world hate you. Obviously, a lot of people hate me because I'm very outspoken, and, you know, I have strong opinions. But there's a lot of people who don't hate me. So
I'd say there's more people who love you than hate you.
Yeah.
And the people who hate you probably don't know a lot about you.
Yeah, that's true.
Why is that like people?
But hold on. So but the from the business side of things, besides those things, you also have to keep in mind the platform that you're streaming on. Is what I'm about to do going to negatively affect the platform that would make the platform not want me to be with them anymore? Right? That's the first priority in business. Is my business partner, the platform, not going to like what I'm about to do?
A lot of people act like you're a mafia leader. That it's Ice Poseidon streamer mafia. A lot of people love to use that kind of iconography for you. I don't think that that's true. I think
who says that?
Internet Anarchist, for one, or like a big commentary channel.
His name is Internet Anarchist.
Yeah.
That guy sounds like he knows nothing.
Yeah, he stole a bunch of footage from my Mr. Base documentary and called his own video on Mr. Base documentaries Demisux.
Well, I'm not a mafia leader. A mafia is somebody who is constantly breaking the law. So I'm not a mafia leader.
I would say that you're more so.
I'm Howard Stern.
You're Howard Stern, but you're Howard Stern running a summer camp that is never goes out of session, and all the people that you have come in are like kind of camp counselors, and the chat is the campers. Would you agree with that sentiment? It's kind of like babysitting.
I would say the streamers are the campers.
You would say the streamers are the
Like,
campers and you're the counselor?
I'm the counselor, the streamers are the campers, and then the viewers are like, I mean, they try to be like the parents. You know what I mean? Like
how do they try to be like the parents?
You know, they're very controlling. They try to be controlling. It doesn't work with me because I don't care. But like a lot of smaller streamers will be controlled by their chat room, which gets into a lot of problems.
Well, all you know about me is basically from what your chat told you.
No, I mean, I did my own research too.
What research did you do on me?
I mean, do you want me to say it on your own documentary?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I mean, you just come off like a slime ball. You know, you have like weird energy, and I saw videos with you, and I just don't like the energy. I can't describe it other than weird energy.
That's fair. I think there's some people who are super put off by me. I think that's fair. I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and that's why.
And then you lie as well. You lie a lot. You lied at about 50% of the things coming here to this hotel room.
I disagree with that, but
I mean, you even said earlier that I didn't say this because I lied earlier because I was nervous. You said it.
I said that I was playing it cool. I think there's a difference between lying and kind of playing it cool.
Yeah,
and saying,
playing it cool just means lying by omission.
No, it means not trying to be so thirsty and be like, oh, Ice, please let me interview you. Like, you know, I'm
yeah, but that's just one example. You lied about other things. You lied about, when I said you typed in my Discord, but you said you didn't really want to, talk about stuff, but then you typed in my Discord asking for it.
I typed in your Discord asking for it, that's true. I think that, it's fair to say that I forgot that I did that because I've been typing in a lot of people's Discords trying to get interviews with them. I'm just kind of, when you do these things, you cast a wide net and you try to reach out to as many people as possible. I've definitely been sitting up late nights sending lots of Discord messages, and when you called me out on that, I was like, oh shit, yeah, you're right, I did send that message. I don't think that's me lying. I think that's just me kind of being a one-man show here and not having a lot of space to
Well, that just proves you don't need Mando then. You're a one-man show.
I'm a two-man show in the sense that Mondo's doing a lot of. Mondo got me over here to talk to you.
Yeah, but see, this is what I'm saying. This is why you're a bit slimy.
No,
you
the
keep
one. No,
keep
I'm
changing
saying
your words, bro.
No, I'm just.
You're like, I'm a one-man show. Well, I guess I'm a two-man show.
No, like I'm
a
one-man show in the sense that I shoot this stuff, I go home and edit it, and then I'm the one who releases the movie and does all of that stuff. Mondo is doing production work. There's a difference between production and the film itself. You know what I mean?
So you're not a one-man show.
No, not in that sense. But I'm a one-man.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think that's slimy. I think that's just me saying I do you can't deny that I do pretty much all of this myself. I'm sitting.
I think Mando does a lot of the work.
Come on.
I'm serious.
Well, Mando did get me here in front of you, so you're right about that. And I think Mando did make Johnny feel more comfortable to be involved in this because it maybe felt to Johnny that Ice was co-signing it, right?
No, that's not true at all.
You're not co-signing it at all, but maybe that's what Johnny thought. practicing. Maybe that's what he thought. Or maybe he thought like, oh, here's another streamer who's really popular. I want to talk to them too. You know, you're right that people don't want to sit down with me. Maybe it's because they think I'm slimy. Maybe it's because they don't like my vibe.
No, it's just because you lie about things.
Let's talk more about what I've lied about.
I mean, you want to sit here all day and go through it? Because I got to remember everything we talked about then.
I don't need you to like bring up a bunch of examples. I'm just saying like, I think that like.
What does this matter to the documentary?
I don't think it's about that. I just think it's about, again, like we're having a conversation and I'm filming it, but like
Okay,
not all that's going to be used.
Obviously, you know, you came here, you want to talk, you want to interview, but you're willing to like, you're willing to say you come off as somebody who's willing to say anything to get what he needs.
What do I need?
I mean, this interview.
Why do I need to like? Why is it important for me to interview you? In your,
I don't know. I mean, what?
From your perception.
I mean, I don't know. That's something you have to answer. It's
no, from your perception of me, like, why do you think it's important that I interview you?
Well, you know, I don't know. I mean, I'm obviously big in the IRL scene, so you want to get my perspective on things. But you could just say that, but instead it's like you just come off.
That is what I said initially, and you didn't believe me.
Yeah, because you come off as like, because you say this to other people as well that you've done documentaries on. And
I'm not doing a documentary on you though.
Okay, well I'm just telling you, like, if people have a certain character and sometimes they follow trends in that character, you know what I mean?
I think that my character is like that's why I think it bothers me that you're saying that I'm so dishonest, because I think the character that I've built on the internet is being so honest and so forthright, especially in my content, about times that I have lied or times that I have like done something unsavory. I think a lot of people on the internet want to shy away from the things that they do that are kind of shady.
I mean, you said you lied to Alex Jones to get an interview.
Yeah, I did.
That's just breaks everything you just said. How are you? I mean, how are you honest if you have to lie?
I think that someone like Alex Jones has a history of lying and bending the truth, and someone like Alan Dershowitz, who I've also made a video on, has a history of lying and bending the truth, and I kind of focus on those people and then use their own playbook against them. And I did the same thing with the guy at the Trump rally too.
I mean, two wrongs don't make a right.
No, you're right, but two rights make a left.
Yeah, but when you're doing documentaries or journalism, it is very important to be honest. So when you do lie sometimes based on circumstances, it doesn't look good because
I think that explains why a lot of people don't like me. I think that's really helpful.
It shows that if you're willing to lie one time, maybe you're willing to lie again. That's what it shows.
Totally. I think that's really fair criticism. I appreciate that. I'm serious. Like,
yeah, no problem. You know,
I think like
I could be a psychologist.
No, that's kind of what this is supposed to feel like. It's supposed to feel like therapeutic.
To who?
to both people involved.
Okay.
Why do you have a hard time opening up? Like, why is it hard for you? Why is it hard for you to take something like seriously?
No, I take this seriously. Why do I have a hard time opening up?
Yeah.
Well, because I don't trust anybody around me.
Why don't you trust anyone around you?
Because in the industry of live streaming, everybody is competition with each other. And everybody would love to be in everyone else's position who's higher than theirs. That's just the reality of the situation. You see it every day. You know what I mean? So you have to do a lot of self-preservation with what you have.
How do you do that self-preservation?
I don't drop my guard for anybody.
I can tell you've always got your guard up.
Always have the guard 24/7, you know, at least in this industry, right? Like, obviously, in real life, I don't have my guard up.
But you don't have, like, real life right now because you're live all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I've been live 24/7 for 84 days, so I kind of am going through a little bit of a personality change, and it's not a good one. But, you know, anybody would go through this after being live for so long.
I think that the effect of that on your psyche and like having to be on the second you wake up, you've got to be on and talking to your chat and being entertaining is a lot of pressure. And then on top of that, you have all of these people who rely on you. You have all of these people who rely on you for content and for revenue. Why do all that? Why not just, you know, you have money and influence. Why not sit at your desk and stream?
You're right. I could just sit at my desk, or I could just do basic IRL around where I live, and my life would be a lot easier. But, you know, part of the value that I bring to Kick is bringing in more streamers and helping them grow, right? That's like part of the value that I bring to Kick. So,
How do you help people grow?
you know, they're around me. I do content with them. I give them pointers on how to be a better streamer.
You give me some good pointers tonight.
I try to, you know, help them with money financially. I, you know, give people money, you know, whatever. You know, I just.
I think you paint a picture of a guy who spends all of his time doing for everyone around him, including for yourself a little bit, but it seems like mostly what you do is for your community and for this thing that you've been trying to build. What's that like to, like, you have this success, right? You have this, like, immense success at a young age. We're not so different in age. You might be 2 years older than me. What is that like to be that successful but not be able to really reap the benefits of it because you have to work so much?
I do reap the benefits from it. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean?
You're living like a transient lifestyle right now. Though,
right now. But when this 100 days is over, then I take a month off. And
then you're back again.
And then I stream again, yeah, and do events or whatever. But, you know, this 100 days, 24/7 is not typical. Usually I'll stream for, you know, a week, take a week off, stream, week off, stream. You know,
But you've done stuff like this, not 100 days, but you've done stuff similar to this before.
Yeah, I've done 30 day, usually 30 day, 24/7. You know.
Can you talk to me about? I just don't like know. I know you like went to like a jungle or something like that, or like we're on a boat or something.
I mean, I went to Australia, traveled around Australia. You know, I've traveled, you know, sailed across the Caribbean. I mean, I've done different kind of streams like that. You know, when you stream 24/7 shit, obviously your life is hell. But and every other way, I reap the benefits when I'm not doing that. Like, it's all worth it. But I do like to help the people around me, yes, because I know that's where my value comes from. Besides making content, and then also, it's just different. It keeps it engaging. Like, I would just get bored doing desktop streams, doing, you know, easier shit. It would be it'd be too boring for me.
I also think, and you might not want to say it in front of your chat because you put your guard up all the time, but I think you genuinely care about a lot of these people and want them to succeed. Like Mando here, who like was homeless.
No, I don't care about them. I want everybody to succeed, though, yes, but I don't care about them on any deeper emotional level.
They're not your friends?
No, they're not my friends. They're just business associates.
Who are your friends then? You don't have to name their names, but like, do you have friends?
Well, I consider Hondro a friend. Hondro's a good friend of mine, you know, but I know him as well. Before he was a streamer, I've been friends with him for years, you know.
How'd you meet Hondro?
A couple years ago, LA. I don't really remember, but I've just known him.
Hondro, how'd you guys meet?
He was doing an event and he needed like security and all that, so I was gonna be a security guard for that.
You know what the problem is, though, with considering everybody as a friend? Because I would love to, don't get me wrong. It would be a lot more fulfilling for me. But I can't consider everyone a friend because I just don't trust people. I've been fucked over a lot in the past, and
Have you been fucked over?
You know, people.
You don't have to get into specifics.
Yeah. People just like I help them grow, then they just fuck off and like, oh fuck, Ice Poseidon, and then like they just take what they've gained and they go on without me, and, you know, don't help me when I need help and shit like that.
When you say don't help me when I need help, when was the time that you needed help? Because you seem like a guy who doesn't ever need anyone's help.
Well, I never asked for help, but
well, how can someone know to help you if you don't ask for it?
because sometimes it's just obvious. You know, when you see your friend, he's struggling, but he doesn't ask for help, you can just, you know, usually you reach out to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, you know, there was a time a couple years ago, you know, where I wasn't streaming, really. I was pretty broke, so nobody helped me. My girlfriend helped me, but that's about it. But I didn't ask for help, so maybe they didn't know. I don't know.
Talk to me about your girlfriend a little bit, and why. Like, just because I want to like loop back to the Johnny thing and why it was so like shitty for you that he said that stuff. I'm trying to like paint a bigger picture.
What about my girlfriend?
Like, just I don't know. Like, talk to me about like. Do you feel protective of her because you have so many like fans who are kind of like crazy about you? Do you feel like you have to like shield her ever from that world?
No, I mean she knows what she walked into. I mean, you know, obviously, you know.
Because I have a girlfriend and she's not like I'm not like successful like you are, but like, you know, I talked to her about this stuff that I do, and I'm sure she wasn't happy that I just cut my hair like that.
I mean, she streams as well. Like, she knows what she's walking into, you know what I mean, with viewers and people, and I mean, she can handle it. She's a strong girl.
Is that hard to have streaming be like every part of your life? Like, there's...
Oh yeah, it definitely ruins a lot of my relationships and causes a lot of drama and stress, don't get me wrong. You know, think about it. I mean, even in my love life, it's like you got all the viewers, all the people, all these other sandpeppers and shit. They just like to just throw in their opinions and throw in everything.
It's like you're a celebrity couple, but like you know, like that's in the tabloids.
Yeah, and everyone has their opinions. They like to involve themselves and be like, oh, he's not good for you, or she's not good for you, and like then we have to like just block all that shit out and just worry about ourselves. You know what I mean?
How do you continue doing that? Like, how does that not affect your relationship?
No, it does. It affects it, yeah. It's very hard.
Has it affected your relationship with your family, too?
No, I mean, my parents know, you know, what's up. I don't have, like, a super strong connection, like you know.
You're live for 100 days. Have you called your parents?
No. I don't have a very super strong family, you know, life.
Was it like that before you started streaming too, or was
yeah,
it
I mean,
streaming?
I'm very independent. My parents are very independent. You know, they're both, you know, like they just work a lot. We're just independent. You know.
Did they instill into you the work ethic that you have? Because I think you really do have a crazy work ethic.
Yeah, my parents worked a lot. I mean, they were always working. I never really saw them much.
So is that how you kind of wound up being on the internet? Because you were home and...
Well, I played RuneScape when I was younger, so that's how.
Just through RuneScape? That was like your main thing? That's like how you...
Yeah, I played RuneScape. I met people on RuneScape, and then, you know, I get into like chat rooms and stuff, and, you know, just like internet shit.
Do you ever miss that time, like before all the everything, when you were just sitting and playing RuneScape and there was no pressure to succeed?
No, because I had a very bad school life, and I would never go back to that, ever.
What do you mean you had a bad school life? Like you got bullied?
And I got bullied, and, you know, I had no friends, and everybody hated me.
Hey, say.
So, I mean, I would never go back to that, because now I can just play RuneScape and still not have the pressure to succeed, because I've already done it.
What's that feel like? What's that feel like to have succeeded?
It feels good.
Because I definitely think you're like a rare case of someone on the internet who is like full stop succeeded. Like you could quit today and still probably live out the rest of your life successful.
Yeah, I mean, it feels good, you know? I mean, especially from a couple of years ago, I thought I was fucked, you know? I was banned on Twitch and, like, all this other shit, and, like, I just had a really bad, you know, time, and all my viewers hated me, and didn't really have any friends either, so I was like, eh.
And now you have, like, a lot of people who want to be your friend and want to be close to you. And you can't really let them get close to you because if you do, they might fuck you over.
I mean, it's more than just that, too. I mean, think about it. When, you know, think about how many people are around me. In Japan alone, I think there was like 30, 35 streamers that were...
It was huge. I saw
that were traveling with us. Can you be friends with 35 people?
And they all want a piece of you because they're there for you.
Yeah, I mean, can you be friends with 35 people? Some people don't even know 30 people. Can you be friends with 35 people than everyone else who's not in Japan, right? I mean, that's a lot of people to be friends with and, like, keep up with. Because, okay, if I gave Mando, for example, the expectation that me and him are going to be good friends, it's an impossible expectation because if you have Mando and Hondro and fucking Taman and like all these. Oh, so and if I'm getting DM'd by a million people trying to have like full-fledged conversations with me in DMs,
I don't think that's what a friend is.
I mean, when you talk to your friends, right? I just don't.
I have my best friend who does all the music for my films. I talk to him pretty rarely, but when we do talk, we're best friends, and we pick up right where we left off. We just live a busy life.
How many friends do you have?
Like friends? Like 6 or 7.
Yeah, I mean, if I considered everybody your friend, I'd have like 500.
No, but like, who do you confide in besides your girlfriend?
Nobody. Just my girlfriend.
How do you...
And that's not because I don't trust my actual friends. It's because that's just not my character. Growing up...
You're confiding in me a little bit right now.
I mean, not really. It's very superficial.
Well, then let's go deeper.
Growing up, I didn't confide in my parents, therapy. No, I didn't have a very like super loving upbringing. I love my parents and they loved me, but they were always working, and
And now you're always working.
now I'm always working. So and that's just not the character that I've, had growing up. So it just follows me, and I don't mind it. I don't need to confide into my friends. I can just confide into my girlfriend. It's fine. And if I don't have a girlfriend, then I would confide into nobody.
You don't feel that it's like slightly isolating?
I mean, I've done it my whole life, used to it. It actually is like comforting to me. I like solving issues on my own.
I like solving issues on my own too, 100%. I think that there's something special about like grabbing the bull by the horns and conquering, right?
Yeah.
You're the guy who's conquered already then. What hills do you have left to climb?
Well, I mean, no matter how much success you have, you can always have, deeper issues. Success doesn't solve everything. There's times I get depressed.
What do you get depressed about?
I mean, I don't really know. It's just different every time, but I mean, I would say, recently, like a couple of days ago, I felt a little depressed because I was like, I'm just like been live for so long, and I just don't really think people understand my point of view on how hard it is. Although it's self-inflicting, obviously, but I'm doing it, for a greater cause, which is, money. But it's still
Is
hard.
money? But money's not all there is. I mean, like especially for you, who's like, very content-minded.
Money's not all there is, but when you are given certain opportunities in life, you have to take them because opportunities are very fleeting. And I know that from experience. I've had opportunities, and then I've had none, and then I was fucked because I didn't take advantage of what I had.
Totally, and I think it's really important to take advantage of what you have and to try to build something. What is it like to have built a entire genre? To have created this thing that didn't exist before, and now all of the weight of that and the reputation of that kind of falls to your shoulders. When they talk about IRL streaming, they say Ice Poseidon.
I mean, it feels good, but I take a lot of flack from that, obviously, because everybody who does bad, they try to put it back onto me.
And that's why you're worried about talking to me, because you're worried that I could do that, and I could say, there's no Johnny Somali without Ice Poseidon. That's not what I think, but that's what you're worried about, correct? That I would drag you through the mud and rope you into this.
That's what, yeah. I mean, obviously, I would be worried of you doing that because it's just not true. I did popularize the genre, but I have boundaries, and some people cross those boundaries, and I don't associate with those people. They give my genre that I've popularized a bad name.
I think that Johnny looks up to you a lot, and I think that you didn't create Johnny, right? But there are all these people who grew up watching your streams who then want to be like you or get your attention. Shuvy, for example, you know Shuvy. He reached out to you initially and said, I'll sew my mouth shut if you let me in Hunger Games. He was just in your Discord. He never had to sew his mouth shut or do any of that. But it's this idea that people are kind of willing to do anything to get into the game.
Yeah, I mean, with the people that look up to me, you know, obviously, there can be a lot of people that, you know, are good content or people who are, you know, try to be like me or whatever. But you also need to know business as well.
I think that's the key thing to trying to be like you.
'Cause there's been a lot of people in the past who have taken it too far, like Johnny, right? He's just one of those people. Even if
he's the most fit. I think of all the people who've taken it too far, for some reason, he has struck an accord with people. Mr. Bass took it way further than Johnny has ever done, but people don't see him as a streamer in the same way that they see someone like Johnny as a streamer, because Johnny's like such a nuisance to society.
I mean, yeah, Johnny goes, you know, viral because he's a nuisance to the public. That's the difference.
My comparison on Johnny is not to you, but more to Josh Block. Here's a guy who causes a nuisance. People watch him and are interested in his content because of the controversy, because they want to see him get drunk, because they want to see him crash out. What element of streaming, how does alcohol take a role in IRL?
I mean, alcohol just drops your inhibition, so you're willing to do, like, stupid shit.
Have you ever felt the pressure to get drunk on stream to like, entertain your audience?
I mean, my audience tries to get me to drink sometimes, but I don't like drinking.
I don't like drinking either. I like smoking weed.
I don't even like smoking weed.
That's fair.
I drink sometimes, but I don't like to, because it makes me like fucking crash out a little bit.
Why do you think audiences like to see the streamer crash out?
I mean, it's entertaining. They want to see a streamer. They want to see people go down a dark path.
They want to see them go down like the darkest path, though. Like, look at Only Use Me Blade, right?
I mean, he's like the worst outcome I've ever seen in streaming.
Talk to me a little bit more about that.
I mean, that dude he ruined his entire life from alcohol. I mean, people just wanted to watch him get drunk and say the N-word and fucking crash out. And
wait, are you talking about Johnny Somali right now, or are you talking about
Blade? Talking about Blade.
No, but it's the same thing.
What?
They want to see him get drunk and say the N-word and crash out. It's the exact same thing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, people want to see, people who watch Johnny Somali want to see the worst from him. And he's pretty stupid, because I don't know if he realizes that.
Do you think that, things could have been different for Johnny if someone like you had stepped in and, mentored him? Not to place any blame on you for his situation, but just to say that if somebody who cared enough had stepped in and tried to guide him on the right path, do you think he'd be in the situation he's in?
If he had some good guidance, then he probably wouldn't be in the position that he's in. Yeah, I mean, he probably does what he does because he has no other options. If he had options, he probably wouldn't be doing.
If he had options, he wouldn't be on Party.
Yeah, I mean, he wouldn't be on Party. He wouldn't be doing the nuisance content. He would be, doing other kinds of content. But
to me,
he had his chance. He was on Kick when he first started streaming. He got banned multiple times, and the Kick staff, they warned him on what not to do, and he just kept doing it.
Why do you think he's so self-destructive like that?
Because, when somebody who's a small streamer gets people in their chat saying, do this, it's good content, and then if you don't do it, the chat's like, fucking non-10, L, you suck. You just want to get the validation from the chat as a small
Why
streamer.
is that important to get the validation from the chat?
Because you want to grow as a streamer. If you're getting good reactions from your chat, you'll grow as a streamer, you're thinking.
You don't seem like someone who needs validation from your chat. Do you ever feel sometimes like you do? Even now, because it's like you've grown to this point, but you're still kind of, chat's still God no matter what.
No, chat is not God.
That's a Mr. Bass quote, by the way.
Yeah, that's. I would never say that. Chat only wants the worst. You know, they don't care about you. They want content. They don't care. The people who do care aren't the ones typing in chat saying, you know, fuck you if you don't do this certain thing. Most people who are typing in chat just want the worst for you because it's entertaining to them. You know what I mean? I don't feel the pressure from chat because I'm experienced.
Was there a time where you did feel that pressure?
Yes. Yes, when I was like 24 years old, 23.
That's the exact same age as Johnny is.
You know,
right now.
new to streaming. Yeah, I felt the pressure, but I still had boundaries. Johnny obviously doesn't have the boundaries that I had.
Can I offer a suggestion, like a business suggestion, for the future if you ever come across another Johnny? You got to implement some kind of streamer buddy program where you send a mentor like this out to help these guys. Why is that not good?
That's not good because if you need to hold someone's hand in making content, they're eventually gonna fuck up at a certain point. So it's a waste of time.
You don't think it can be taught? You don't think that?
Why teach people when you can find someone who's natural?
I think that's the talent scouting.
Yeah, I mean, why? You can't teach live streaming. If someone is going to inevitably crash, if you need to teach somebody about boundaries, they're inevitably going to crash out and break those boundaries. It's just going to happen. So you need to find people who are natural, who understand boundaries, who understand business, who understand content. And
Is Mando a natural?
No, but Shuby is.
You know, when I first met him, I didn't think that, but now
Mando
that
ha-
he's doing the boat thing, I actually do think that that's pretty W content.
It is, and you know, Mando,
Even though you did the boat thing too.
Mando has potential, but he is a bit self-destructive. Is the problem.
What's self-destructive about Mando?
He gives up too easily. He has too much self-pity. But he has potential. He's funny. And if he plays his role as like the fat homeless guy, like that's a funny role. Like, you know what I mean? He's just funny. His like attitude towards things is funny. Like he has potential to be a good streamer.
What about someone like One Sonic?
I mean, I don't really know him to be honest. I know of him. I don't really know him though.
Your phone.
This is like a punishment you've done to yourself to keep the phone going like that.
But yeah, chat validation is dangerous for a small streamer. It's dangerous, but like I said, you know, the buddy system thing is just dumb. That would never work out. It'd be a waste of time. You need, you know, people who.
So going off of that,
You know, even big streamers fall for the chat validation stuff. Yes, to answer your question, yes, I do want it. I do need it sometimes. You know, everybody is human. Everybody needs it sometimes. If you have a chat full of people shitting on you and your content for a long period of time, it makes you feel bad. So you want to make yourself feel good by doing stuff that they want to see. You know, but sometimes you can't change admit it.
how do you? The thing with that validation is, it's never enough, right? Like because they never actually give you that real validation. When you go and do the thing that they want you to do, then it's like, okay, do something else now. Now push the envelope further.
Yeah, you gotta keep pushing the envelope. So I mean, when I was younger, you know, I was getting to you know, the point of pushing the envelope a little bit by doing you know, like RV streams and all this stuff. And it was like very edgy, which is fine. Like it's all in a controlled environment, but you know, like I push the envelope in a controlled environment, which I think is fine. But even then, I ran into some boundaries that I just wasn't willing to do.
Now you're in a world that's a little more ad friendly. I think the content that you're making is a little more, you know, like you could sit down and watch it with a group of people and they're not going to be like, oh my god, what is this? They're going to be like, oh, they're walking around.
Actually, some of the stuff that I've done on Kick, I think have pushed greater boundaries than what I've done before. You know, like I used to do like...
Why, because Bennymack got hit in the face?
No, like, okay, before I did like RV streams, right? And, you know, shit like that. But on Kick, I've done like a prison stream where I was like waterboarding people and fucking Hunger Games where we were fucking like torturing people in 100-degree weather for 7 days. I mean, you know, that shit's pretty intense. But I have a unique opportunity.
The like challenges that can you touch a little bit on where that came from, like ICE's different challenges? like this is a challenge. The Hunger Games was a challenge.
I mean, I just Google things that are just fucking hard to do. And like, like the prison stream, we did the waterboarding because that's what they did in fucking like Guantanamo Bay. And it's like,
Where do you come up with this stuff?
I mean, it's okay. It's we're pretending that we're in a prison. What do you do to get people to want to leave this place? You have to, let's waterboard them. Maybe then they'll want to leave. Because the challenge was last to leave, you know what I mean?
So, you go into these type of things, and you invite lots of streamers to come out, not just people who are like in CX or whatever. Can I ask you about IP2? Are you okay with talking about that?
I mean, you can talk about it.
Tell me about IP2 and your subreddit and how it morphed.
Well, so I had a Reddit, and then, that was like my audience, whatever, and then I shut it down due to a lot of backlash. And then the viewers just created this like anti-Reddit that like they hated me and stuff, so they were just like talking shit about me. And like, let's try to like fuck him over any way we can.
How have they tried to fuck you over?
I mean, just saying fucking slanderous things and being like, yeah, fuck Ice, like he's just a piece of shit, we hate him. And like,
talk to me about the plane.
Calling restaurants and stuff.
The plane, yeah. The Twitch banning plane.
Yeah, I mean, I was streaming at the airport. Somebody called it a bomb threat, saying I had a bomb, and I went on the plane. And when I got to my destination, they took me off the plane and was like, "Do you have a bomb?" And I was like, "No."
I think that moment and you getting banned off of Twitch for that kind of kick-started, and not blaming you for this, but saying that like the people who wanted to troll you succeeding at that kind of kick-started this machine of like callers. Can you talk to me a little bit about like the callers in live streaming?
I mean, you're wrong. Swatting has been around before me.
But the IRL swatting is something that's kind of unique to you.
Nope.
No?
No, people have been getting swatted before I even became a streamer.
Okay. Well, the IP2 folks love to do the swatting. That's kind of what I'm getting at here.
If you're a streamer that has any controversy whatsoever, I mean, getting swatted, it just happens. If you have 10,000 viewers, thousands of viewers.
Are you freaked out when you get swatted?
I mean, no. I mean, it's happened.
The first time that it happened?
Yeah, the first time, but I mean, it's happened so many times at this point, hundreds of times. Like, it's just another day. And although it hasn't happened to me in so long, like except in Japan, but that doesn't count.
Do you feel like sorry to the police when that happens? Do you feel like embarrassed that they called and did that?
It's embarrassing. Yeah, it's really stupid. Waste of time. But it's not the plane thing didn't cause that towards everybody.
No, not towards everybody.
What the plane thing did was give validation to the specific person who did it to me, and it made them want to do it to me specifically more.
There was just one person doing it. Do you know who that person was?
Some kid in Poland or something. I don't know.
When you're away from all this, when you're at home not streaming, do you feel like, especially after 100 days, is it going to be weird for you to wake up and not go live? How do you adjust back to your normal consciousness?
It's going to be weird. I'm going to go live, or not go live. I'm going to go home and I'm going to be not on camera. So it's going to be good though. It's going to be. I'm going to feel like I'm free from a prison. I feel like I'm in a mental prison right now.
I feel like I'm in a mental prison right now, and I've only been here for...
Why? You just cut your hair a little bit, no big deal. I mean, dude, that's nothing.
No, I'm just playing,
I mean, to be honest, if you were a streamer, I would have made you... I would have been like, all right, cut more of your hair.
That's...
Maybe a little bald spot.
I did kind of do it in a pussy way. I tried to make it look good.
Yeah.
Just so far, I think we've had a great conversation. I'm very happy to use lots of this, and really appreciate you speaking so frankly with me about this, even when you've professed that you don't like me very much or my, tactics.
I mean, so far the conversation's been all right. You do word things a little poorly sometimes, but
Well, it's all off the top of my head, so I'm doing the best I can. I didn't prepare any questions for you.
No, it's all right. I'm just, I correct you where I can.
I think that's good though, because again, you're the expert on this. I'm not. I'm just trying to get the story and understand this world in a better way, and then teach normies about that who are not ingrained in this world.
I think to answer an earlier question, I think a lot of people aren't going to be copycats of Johnny Somali or people who go too far because they see how it ends up. With no
I
opportunity.
disagree with that. I think that a lot of people see what Johnny Somali does, and they say, especially younger kids, they say, I want to be just like him. We're walking around Korea, we're walking around Hongdae, and multiple people come up to Johnny and treat him like he's a huge celebrity. They don't say fuck you, they don't say you're bad. They're like, oh, Johnny Somali, oh my god.
Yeah, but they're probably not. It's probably not.
Younger
very
people aren't capable of the type of rational thought that you're about to engage in here, and they see someone they watch Johnny's stream and see fans coming up and saying hi to him, and they say, I want to get fans, and it's easy to do. All I got to do is go outside and harass somebody and film it.
Yes, I know what you're saying, but I think you can have people come up to you and be like, yo, let's take a photo, whatever, but they may not respect you.
You know that you're saying that with a certain level of experience. Have you had people do that to you?
Yeah, I've had people come up to me even and just being like, oh, let's take a photo, and nice to meet you, I've never met a streamer before, and then when they're walking away, they'll be like, oh, by the way, I don't respect what you do, I don't respect you. It's like, all right. So it's like they see a famous person and then they're like, yeah, let me get a photo. I've never seen a famous person, but they don't respect them.
What is the... People act like streaming isn't a real job, or that, they like to write off what you've built here and act like it's meritless. And I disagree with that. I think that there's a lot of merit to what you do, and I think that
I just tell people, hey, if you think it's that easy to be a streamer, go live on Kick, get KCIP. You'll make 20, 30K a month. Why not? Do it. It's easy. I mean, there's so many people on KCIP that make so much money for 200-300 viewers. Just go live. It's easy.
it's already an anti-party documentary. It doesn't have to be a Kick advertisement too.
It might as well be. I'm just saying,
Well, to be fair, I did, in full transparency, send an email to Santamaria saying, hey, I would like to make a pro-Kick documentary. So there you go for that one too.
Oh, well, we can make it happen.
We'll talk about that. Because I do think that, there's a lot of merit to Kick, and I think Kick's put in so much time and effort and moderation to become an actual competitor to Twitch and to overcome a lot of the bad press that they were getting when they initially launched. Talk to me about when Kick first came out.
Twitch is the big dog, right, in the streaming space.
But they're also violently leftist. Dan Clancy is
yeah. I mean, we'll get to that, but it's the big dog in the streaming space. It's the biggest one, right? When you go against the big dog, you're gonna have the puppies come and fight you off, right? If you go against a big company, there's gonna be a lot of propaganda and bullshit coming your way for trying to go against them. Kick, objectively, is actually a better streaming site than Twitch because of the moderation. It's not ridiculous. And they pay streamers on an hourly wage
and it's $95.5
to stream, and it's $95.5 on the subs. Objectively beneficial for the creator more than the platform. Whereas Twitch, it's more beneficial for the platform than the creator. And there's just been a lot of propaganda against Kick in Twitch's favor. But it's very easy to break. So people have a bad idea about Kick because of this Twitch propaganda, but it's slowly getting better because it's superficial propaganda.
And also, Twitch is having like their own horrible press run right now.
Own horrible press run. I mean, think about it. People were talking shit on Kick because Johnny Somali streamed on Kick and did the fucking Japan drama on Kick. And that's why Kick had so much bad press before they banned him. But then now you those are Twitch people saying that because now you have fucking Hassan being a pro-terrorist on Twitch, not banned. So, okay, if Kick is so bad, even though they banned the person, Twitch won't even ban the person that everyone is saying is so bad.
Have you ever interacted with Hassan before?
No.
What do you think about guys like that do like political streams?
I hate him. I hate Hassan. I think he's the fakest dude I've ever seen. He's the fakest content creator. I just, it's disgusting. Like, he is so, like he's, he pretends to be a socialist, but he's so far capitalist, it's crazy. He is just profiting off the back ends of his manipulated audience who are in desperate situations in their real life. Obviously, his audience must be like super poor and desperate or something because they want socialism. And anybody who wants fucking socialism is definitely poor.
You don't think that a lot of it's that like they think he's handsome and they have a crush on him?
For the girls, yeah, but
He has a really, really high ratio of female audience, I would say.
whatever. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, sure, but obviously a lot of the
Comparatively, your audience, to bring it back to you have like a large male audience. What is it like? And you got a lot of incels. You can't deny that you got a lot of incels out there.
as any streamer can.
As any streamer, not just you. Very good point. Not just you. Every single streamer in this room and just in general has incels in their chats. How do you deal with like incels that want you to pander to incels?
What?
Like, how do you deal with people in your chat who are incels who want you to like pander and like be incel, like kind of reinforce those type of ideologies?
I mean,
Not that you do that. I'm
mean,
saying, like, do you have people who come in your chat and are like, you know, fuck women, you know, I can't get laid, you know, like I just don't know.
I guess sometimes, yeah, my audience is filled with definitely some incels who definitely hate women, but I mean sometimes.
Do they ask you for advice?
I mean, no, they'll just be like, "Fuck this girl, get off stream" and stuff. But I mean, sometimes I'll bait them and I'll like go with it just to get TTS.
Explain TTS to someone who doesn't know what that is.
The viewers donate money to pitch to have a conversation with me. They'll like send money to have it read on stream, and then I can respond to what they just said.
How did different streamers get their chat to send TTS?
I mean, everybody has different methods. I like to say very outlandish things. That always works.
Like, can you give me an example?
If I had it on right now, they would be going off.
You can we turn it on so we can let them talk while we do this?
No, because I do not want whatever they're going to say to represent me whatsoever. Because sometimes they say some really bad stuff.
All right, that's fair. They said a couple bad things when we were in the car.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? Like, when someone sends you money to say something horrible, do you just ignore it, or do you still have to respond to it?
I mean, I just ignore it, or I'll just be like, "Yep, thanks for the money."
I
mean, if they want to send me money to say like I'm,
when you were a smaller streamer though, and you didn't have as much money, there's a little more weight on that TTS donation.
Nah, I'd still ignore it. I mean, if somebody donates to call me a derogatory term or something, I'm not gonna be like.
Or what if they donate and tell you to do something crazy? I think like that's a lot of the donations too, is to say like go do something insane, go crash out.
I mean, I wouldn't do that. Even when I was a smaller streamer, I'd have like a top donator send me like $100, and then they'd be in my DMs on Twitter, and they'd be like, "I want you to ban this person." I go, "Nope, I'll ban this person if I want to, not because you say to do it."
I think like
don't let the donators control you. That's never going to be a good path.
I think like part of being a man or being a person in general is knowing who you are and what you stand for. Who are you and what do you stand for?
I mean, that's a loaded question.
I don't think it's a loaded question.
I mean, I stand for just making entertainment. I don't know. I mean, what do you mean by that?
I mean, like ideologically, when you're making your content, you don't want to be like pushed around by your chat. When someone sends you money and tells you to do something crazy, you don't listen. How do you stay true to your values while you're doing something that is constantly asking you to compromise those values?
I mean, I just ignore it, take their money. Like, if I don't want to do something, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to stand to my own values. Like, people donating doesn't give them control over me. It's still my stream. It's, I'll still do whatever I want to do.
Then why do so many other streamers not follow your lead?
Because it's not easy. If you
But you said that you've never really engaged in that type of behavior. And like, how have you managed to stay true to yourself like that? I think was kind of my question. In the face of like a world where like it's really hard to do that.
You just have to see the bigger picture. You know what I mean? You have to understand the intention behind the person sending you the money. Okay, if somebody sends me $100 and says, I want you to go out and get drunk tonight, knowing that I just had a crash out 3 days ago when I was drunk. Obviously that person wants me to crash out again, so I'm not going to do it because I don't want to crash out again.
How do you feel when you do like crash out like that? Do you feel like they won?
No, I mean, I just know who I am. When I drink, like, I get triggered by a lot of things, and then I'll start to, like, crash out of my chat or the fucking people around me or whatever, and I'll be like, get away from me. Whatever, you know what I mean? I just know who I am, so I just like to avoid going into those situations.
How do you think that, like, or do you think maybe it's just not your responsibility, but, like, I do think that you kind of lead by example.
We turn off the air conditioning. It's just freezing in here.
Your screen, by the way, when blank.
How do you like lead by example in a situation like that? How do you get other streamers to follow suit? And I think I don't know if you can necessarily, but I just wonder how what is the solution to this problem in streaming, right? Because there are problems in IRL right now.
People just need to stand to their own opinions and values. I mean, there's no solution. You just need to be your own person and not listen to what other people tell you to do, who have who don't care about you. To me, it's common sense. To me, when I see a certain donation or chatter telling me to do something that I know is bad, I'm just thinking, why would I do that? Other people obviously just do it because they're desperate for the validation and they want the money and they want to be a big streamer. They're not seeing the bigger picture of the consequences behind what could happen.
What are the consequences?
Like getting banned.
Getting banned, getting public,
perception, getting banned, whatever.
Getting punched in the face at Guangdong Market because you're Johnny Somali. So we'll start to wrap up here. Johnny, you said, is not going to come back from this. Do you think he's going to go to prison?
Probably. He's probably going to go to jail in Korea for sure. Because, in Asian countries, respect is like a big thing. And he is constantly going against what they want him to do, showing no remorse. So they're going to throw the book at him, I think.
Guys like Legal Mindset and Atozy and stuff, they all want to see the book get thrown at him. Does it feel weird to agree with guys like that, even though you're like diametrically opposed to them?
No, I don't like Legal Mindset, but I also don't like Johnny Somali, so we have a common enemy.
Is Johnny your enemy?
He would love to be my enemy, but no, he's not my enemy, but I just don't care about him. I have no relation to him. I don't care about him. I don't think about him.
I just wanted to clarify that because
an enemy would be somebody that you think about a lot.
What are you gonna say, Mando?
Yeah, he says a lot that you're the Batman and he's the Joker, or he's the Lex Luthor.
He would love to be that, but unfortunately for him, he's not. To me, he's nobody.
Yeah, so he just kept rambling and rambling and rambling.
When streamers like Johnny get covered on the internet so aggressively and so publicly, and they talk about IRL as a category and they inevitably bring your name up, how does it feel that they continue to rope you in with him? That was why you didn't want to do this interview with me, because you didn't want to get roped in.
I mean, you know, he tries to rope me into what he's
He made
done.
that whole video where he was like sitting there and he showed the chart and was like, I'm part of ICE, but he's trying to associate himself with you to have you catch the same flack that he's catching. Because he's hoping that you're going to help him out of it.
He wants, well, yeah, he just wants to bring everyone down with him, wants to see the world burn, you know what I mean? Because he's got nothing else. But I don't think...
Do you think that's a common thing in streaming, that like when someone's going down, they want to take everybody else down with them?
I think that's a common thing in life, not just streaming.
Why do you think that is?
I mean, you know, if you feel like you have nothing to lose, you might as well take everyone down with you. Why not?
I don't know, because like empathy and other things.
Have you ever been in a position where you have nothing to lose?
Yeah.
Sometimes you just feel so bad by yourself. You want everyone to feel just as bad as you do.
Have you ever felt that way?
Yeah. I've been in a position where I felt like I had nothing to lose.
Now you have a lot to lose.
And now I have lots to lose. Yeah.
Now it's like there's so much on the line that like any association with Johnny, any dragging of your name through the mud in a situation like that doesn't just impact you, but it impacts this platform that you're helping to like grow and make into, you know, bigger than Twitch and the biggest streaming platform on the internet.
Yep.
I think that's what's really the like focus for me here, is that like your mission and your goals here are related to the business that you've been running for the past 10, 11 years, whatever. And Johnny's goals are, you know, to kind of topple those things. What steps can you take to combat that, besides just like being positive and continuing to do what you do?
I don't have to take any steps. I mean, he's totally irrelevant to me. Nothing he does can impact my life whatsoever. As long as I don't do things like go and fucking...
No, but he's got all this attention and he goes on the internet and says, I'm with Ice Poseidon, we're a criminal mafia.
Yeah, but people see through that shit.
Not everyone.
Well, then they're fucking retarded.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, it does, when Kick sees something like that, do they say like, fuck Ice? Like, what do we do about this?
No, because they see through that. No.
That video went everywhere, is why I say that.
Yeah, I mean, people who have nothing to lose, everyone sees Johnny as somebody with nothing to lose. So, you know, they're gonna...
He still has a little more to lose. He has his freedom. What are you doing?
They're gonna have a little bit of, you know, people with common sense will just assume that he's just bullshitting, you know what I mean? Not everybody will see it.
Most people on the internet don't have common sense, though. Come on.
Not everybody will see it, but the people who are important to me will see it.
That's how I feel about this movie, is that, like, I may have messed up my reputation a little bit by going out and filming with Johnny, right? I may have glazed him a little too much and looked like a dumbass for that. Not may have, 100% did.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's my job in the end to prove to people that I'm going to tell this story in a way that makes sense, and prove to you that I'm not going to drag your name through the mud and that I'm not this sleazebag filmmaker that you think I am.
I mean, so far the questions have been pretty good. So,
I mean, we're almost done here. I don't have much more for you other than like, you know, what would you, if you could like give Johnny any piece of advice, what would you say to him?
I mean, at this point, he's pretty much screwed. But is he getting paid to be a party?
Yeah. Do you want to know how much?
How much?
It's around, one sec, I have the screenshot somewhere, wherever my phone is. It's like $2,400 per stream.
Okay, $2,400 per stream.
Oh no, that's for an 8-hour stream. $2,400 for an 8-hour stream.
If he was just not a complete scumbag, he could have made way more than that on Kick. So, at this point, he's already fucked, so there's no advice I can give to him. All I can tell him is what the alternative reality could have been, and it could have been making double the money on Kick with other streamers who don't hate you.
Do you think that, like, he should just walk away from this all?
I mean...
Would you respect him if he apologized to everyone and stopped streaming for good?
I mean, after what he said to me, no, I wouldn't respect him.
Or would you respect the action of, like, contrition like that? Because I think you don't have to respect a person if someone crosses a line like that and says stuff to you that's, like, truly horrible, there's no world where you can ever respect them. But, like, for me, for example, if Mr. Bass said, you know what, I'm done with this streaming thing, and I was manipulating Josh Block, and I was stealing money off him because I have a problem, I continuously pimp people.
I wouldn't respect it still, no, because he's already done a lot of damage to the reputation of streaming. So...
I think that that's such an important point to highlight here, is that, like, part of why Johnny's been banned everywhere, and part of why guys like you really, really disavow him and will not, like, allow anyone in your community to cross paths with him is because of the effect it has on the larger streaming community and on the platform that you're growing.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he walks away and apologizes, whatever. I mean, I still wouldn't respect it because he's still done a lot of damage that needs to be fixed. So
how can he fix that?
No, he doesn't fix it.
You do.
No, the platforms are...
But you're out here in Asia kind of, in a sense, you've had to do a lot of PR to undo some of the damage he's done, no?
I mean, I have no control over that. My reach isn't that big, but, you know, Kick is the platform that took a lot of the flack from his actions when he first did it.
And you're Mr. Kick.
Well...
Eddie's Mr. Kick, but you're, like, the top streamer on Kick.
I'm not the top streamer, but
Who's the top streamer?
I don't know, probably like AdinRoss, but...
Oh, he's like a desktop loser, though.
Okay, but, you know, obviously it's...
And a bad Jew.
What kind of documentary filmmaker are you?
I'm just talking shit. I'm just talking shit now. No, he sucked Kanye's dick, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I mean, I think, you know, the platforms are the ones who had to fix the issue with some PR and stuff, so...
You don't think that, like, you being out here and doing, like, generally positive content is that kind of PR as well, though?
I'm not the I mean, it helps, but I'm not the person...
You're not the person that they go to and ask to do that.
Change it, because, you know, my reputation's not great either, so I'm not the person people are going to look to see if streaming is great or whatever, but...
I think that that's not true, actually. I think that people do look to you now, and I think that your perception of yourself is from, like, you know, tainted by all the experiences you've had, obviously. But, like, people who don't know you and are being introduced to your content now see you as a generally positive streamer who makes edgy jokes.
I would like to think that.
That's how I was kind of introduced to your content. It's like, here's a guy who kind of is doing travel content and, like, doing challenges and stuff, and he has a wacky cast of characters like Stern, and that's, like, about all there is to it. Sometimes there's some drama, but there's drama on, like, The Real World on MTV. That's kind of, like, similar type of drama. You've got all these people in a house. They all have cameras pointed at each other. It's just live and unfiltered instead of being, like, edited and on TV.
Yeah.
And I think, like, part of what you've done by doing this is put all those guys out of business. Put all those guys out of a job. You're part of the reason why I'm a broke loser filmmaker now.
I'm sorry about that.
No, it's okay. It's okay. At least I got to interview you, you know? Like, do you agree with that? That, like, your streams and your, like, world that you've built has elevated the idea of, like, reality and also kind of toppled that in mainstream media? Or do you not think that you're that big?
Well, I mean, Not me personally, but I think live streaming does topple like real world and stuff. Obviously, it's more raw, but you know, a lot of streamers don't go that raw with it. I'm super raw, so there's not a lot of streamers who are like me or people in this community. Like we keep it raw. You know, most streamers are pretty produced because, like you said, they have advertisers and sponsors and stuff.
But you have guys like Jack Doherty on Party, who his stream's very produced, right? He's got like a camera guy with this exact type of rig. But he is not doing advertiser-friendly content. He's advertising OnlyFans to little kids. Can you speak on that at all, or do you not want to talk about Jack Doherty?
We can talk about him. And I don't mean produced by like the equipment they're using. I mean produced as in like scripts. Most streamers they run scripts.
Talk about scripting.
You know, I mean, Cenat does IRL content, but his stuff is, you know, very scripted.
Your stuff is very unscripted. People accuse you of scripting a lot, but like, it's very unscripted.
Yeah, the scripting thing is a meme.
How does it feel like you're ever in competition with guys like Cenat because they're so big and?
I mean, I wish I was, but no. I mean, he's way bigger than me, so. Not everybody likes the unscripted stuff because, you know, there's a lot of downtime.
But then there's a lot of uptime, too.
There's a lot of uptime, too, but, you know, if...
Would you say that this is downtime or uptime right now?
I would say this is pretty interesting for the viewers.
It's cool. I'm glad. Do you think that IRL will continue to grow from here? Do you think that, like, there's room for it to become even bigger?
I think IRL has a lot of potential, but...
You're not going to be doing this forever.
No, I won't.
How many more years do you think you have left doing this?
I mean, ideally, I'd like to stop at 35 because I don't want to do this when I'm like 40.
You have a lot of mileage on you, though. For someone who's you're 30,
Yeah.
you have a lot of mileage. Not like that you look old or something, but like you have a like streamer mileage, especially going 100 days. It's like, how many more times can you push yourself to the brink like that and then still come back and be yourself? Or is there a piece of yourself that you're kind of...
I mean, I can do it indefinitely, but I just don't want to. You know, I don't want to be doing this at 40. I have other aspirations, like, you know, starting a family and shit. I don't want to be a fucking streamer and have kids and...
What would you do after streaming? Would you continue to work? Because I think there's part of you that, like, can't stop working.
I mean, I would like to, you know, own, like, a convenience store one day. You know, shit like that. Like, I don't know. But, I mean, when I'm not streaming anymore, I'll probably just start a family.
But I think you like entertaining as well.
I like entertaining, but...
Would you ever have a radio show? Would you ever do, like, actual, like, Stern style?
I mean, you know, maybe I'd do something like that, but...
You got the voice for it.
By the time I'm 35, I will have been doing this for 15 years.
And you'll have a lot of stories to... You already have a lot of stories to tell.
But after 15 years of social media, I'd probably want to step away from it so I can focus on other things that are...
I don't know if you can.
Oh, I can. There's other things that are more important to me. Like starting a family. And putting all my time into that.
So, like, is it important for you, if you were to start a family, to give your kid, you know, all of your attention and time?
Yes, it's very important.
Why is that important to you?
Because I want my kid to grow up to be good. Like, you know, I want like a good kid. I don't want to have like be distant with my child, you know.
Your parents worked a lot and were always busy.
Yeah.
And you would like to do something different.
I like to do something different. You know, I'm in a position where I have the opportunity to not have to work and I can put all my time into my kids. And so I would want to do that. That's the whole point of making a bunch of money. So I don't have to work. So I can do and focus on the things that are important to me.
If you step away from IRL, what happens to it?
I mean, he'll be around, but...
It's kind of like in Mold Mansion, right? Mando left, and Sonic kind of stopped streaming, and it all kind of fell apart a little bit. Do you think that that could happen to IRL? Do you think that like eventually, if you step away, that it'll be something that was like a moment in time?
I mean, it's possible. If there's not more people like me, then yeah.
I don't think that there's anyone else like you in the entire world, dude. I don't think like I think that like you're someone who's like kind of forged in lava. There's nobody else who will ever exist with your work ethic and your like brain for this. Especially because you kind of created the genre. There's nobody else who can do what you do.
Well, then IRL will just not be around then. The type of IRL that will be is going to be like Cenat IRL or Ishowspeed IRL. You know, it's just a different kind of IRL.
That kind of stuff came to the forefront.
Which, don't get me wrong, Ishowspeed, he does good IRL, but it's different than what I do.
It all started, that type of stuff, like off the tails of COVID, I feel like. When those guys started to really skyrocket in popularity. How did that feel for you as someone who like forged a genre to see the genre kind of change in that way and these new stars emerge who were bigger than you, admittedly?
I mean, I have no opinion on it. I have no thoughts about it. They have a totally different kind of content that you can't even compare. Like, yeah, it's IRL as in non-gaming content, but it's totally different than what I do. We're not in the same realm of content creation. But I think the type of IRL that I do is potentially going to die out one day because it's very hard to do. It's a lot easier to do other types of content or other types of IRL than this type of stuff that I do.
There's also like a big investment that comes into it, like financially and like
putting your life into it.
Yeah, putting your life into it, and you're like, I really do feel like when you do this stuff for as long as you've done it for as many days, you're like almost physically like tearing off a piece of yourself and giving it to your audience. Do you feel like you get that back in the end when you stop streaming, or do you feel like that's lost forever to the content?
I mean, you get some of it back. Yeah, you get it back. I mean, this builds character. You know, nothing else in my life will ever be as difficult as this. So that makes everything else in life seem easier. But yeah, I mean, I don't think there's going to be another type of person who's like me, because people like easy money. This is not easy money. I mean, it's a lot of money, but it's difficult. People don't know how difficult it is. They think it's easy.
It's not easy.
But they don't know because they've never done it. But it's not fucking easy.
It's not easy.
There's easier methods of live streaming than this.
Well, it's not. Let's break down why it's not easy. Is it because of the chat? Is it because of the public scrutiny? Is it because of the pressure?
Me in particular, you know, having a lot of people on your back, and big audience that is very engaging and opinionated, so they're willing to shit on you if they don't like what they see, whatever. The type of IRL in an uncontrolled environment sometimes, going out, doing stuff like, getting harassed by police and shit sometimes. I mean, yeah, it's, being live 24/7 when I do those, I mean, it's, you put all your mental and physical energy into it, and it's hard.
Do you think someday that you'll like seek therapy to talk about some of the?
No, therapy's a scam.
I mean, I don't do therapy myself. I'm just like asking.
When I was younger, with the therapy, fucking scam. They just want money.
Do you think that there's merit to like unpacking some of the like trauma or whatever that you have experienced in doing this?
No.
Just push it all down?
Yeah, I mean, I'm good at just throwing trauma aside.
How do you throw it aside? Like what coping skills do you use to like deal with this type of situation you're in?
I just don't think about it. Just never think about it again.
Is that easy?
For me, it is.
How did you build up that muscle to make it that easy?
I don't know. Maybe it just comes natural. I'm very disconnected emotionally from my live streaming content. And that helps.
How is that possible when you're live for 100 days? You're just going to be disconnected for 100 days and you're kind of just like out there in the ether?
Yeah, you just disconnect your emotions, do the content, and then when you turn off the stream, you can bring back your emotions. I mean, I do get emotional. I've been emotional on this trip, but it's more, you know, it's like anger and stuff. Anger, resentment, shit like that. You know, negative emotions, those are easy to have. But, you know, like deeper stuff like empathy and shit, it's, you know, you can easily put that aside. I can, at least.
Why would you want to put your empathy aside?
Well, if I'm making content with the people around me, sometimes I have to have no empathy or no sympathy or anything, because it just makes for better content. Like if I see somebody, like another streamer, going through something, I'm going to use it for content, because this is what they signed up for.
I think that's fair game, of course, but I think that like pushing out all the empathy in your body so that you can make content is actually just like detrimental to your psyche and leaves you in a position where like you have to try to claw back your humanity once the stream goes off.
If you're going to be live 24/7 for 100 days, you can't have humanity.
How do you get your humanity back once this is all over?
You just get it back. What do you mean? You just...
Well, how do you know? Because you don't have it right now because you're live.
No, I have it, but it's suppressed. You just unsuppress it when you're finished.
What does it mean to like unsuppress it? How does that feel to like suddenly have empathy again?
I mean, I don't know how to explain it.
Do you ever get like emotional when like afterwards? Do you ever feel like it all kind of hits you at once?
No. When you suppress your emotions, when you unsuppress them, it's like everything that's just happened in the past has no effect on your emotions whatsoever. I have autism, so it's easy for...
That was my next question.
It's easy for me to just suppress emotions and not like feel them or whatever.
Yeah, but like, then you have moments where you do feel them intensely, right?
No. I mean,
But you said you did. You said already that you have.
Yeah, like anger and stuff. Yeah, but not for other people.
No, for yourself.
Yeah. I feel anger and resentment during this trip. Not all the time, but I'm saying.
What have you felt anger and resentment about?
Well, you know, I've felt resentment over some people around me. I felt resentment over, you know, some of my personal relationships. Sometimes, you know, over my viewers. You know, I felt anger over the same things as well. Anger and resentment are the two most prominent emotions I've felt in this trip. Not really too much sadness.
What about pride? What about pride? You feel proud of what you've accomplished here?
I feel proud of what I've accomplished, but I don't have too much pride sometimes. There's times where there's times where I have a lot of pride. It's just every day is different. It just depends.
Do you relish in your successes, or do you tend to slog on to, like, you know, you're gonna end this in like 15 days or something?
Yeah.
Like 84, 15 days. Are you gonna go home and feel proud, or are you gonna go home and feel like rest for 2 days and then start planning the next one?
Yeah, I'm gonna go home, feel proud, rest for a month, and then just keep going, do something else.
How long between those moments does it take you to start figuring out what's next?
I mean, the moment I go home, you know, day 2, I'm gonna start thinking about the next thing.
I think that's something that's really common in like social media world, because people have such short attention spans that you can make your masterpiece, right? I mean, there was like back before like social media and shit, you'd see people like carve these beautiful stone sculptures, right? They'd spend years on it, and then they finish it, and it's like, well, now what's next for me? And I think that's something that's so human, to like feel like you've done something big and you've accomplished your goal, and then the goalposts just shift again.
Yeah, you just gotta keep moving forward. On to the next thing, you know.
I think that's why Johnny ended up in his situation, is that instead of, it was like a race to the bottom, you know what I mean? Like, he thought he was rising and rising because everyone's talking about him and everyone's giving him this attention that he wanted to get so bad. But in actuality, it's like this plummet. And that's why I don't think you guys are similar, but I do think you guys are like diametric opposites, right? You have this story of a guy who rises and continues to rise by being business-minded, by, whether you'd like to admit it or not, caring about those around you, by making content that pushes boundaries while staying within the guardrails. And then you have another guy who does all the opposite of those things, who burns all of his bridges, who pushes people away from him, who refuses to apologize, and like really puts a bad taste in people's mouths. How does that, like, how do you feel about those two, like, sides of that coin?
I mean, yeah, that sounds accurate. How am I supposed to feel?
I don't know. I just, like, do you see that, like, Johnny did all of the stuff he did because he wanted to be popular, like Ice Poseidon and all, not just Ice Poseidon, but like he wanted to be a big streamer, like a guy he idolizes, not a guy he knows and was friends with, because you guys aren't friends and don't know each other.
Well, he goes down the easy but short-term route. Anybody can do the things that he does, which is causing problems. That's not very creative.
Do you think
it takes a real content creator to be able to do things that don't cause problems and have longevity?
Do you think that people will remember Johnny 5 years from now?
I mean, not for anything good.
What do you think people will say about Johnny 5-10 years from now?
I mean, nothing, to be honest. Yeah, probably nothing. They won't think about him.
What do you think people will be saying about you 5 years from now?
Nothing.
That's not true.
The internet's very short term. If I never went live again for 5 years, nobody would talk about me. And that goes for most streamers.
I don't think that's true for you. I think everybody in this room agrees with that that's not true for you because of the legacy that you laid for yourself.
Who is a streamer that was huge that doesn't stream anymore?
There's nobody like Ice Poseidon. That you can't compare yourself to. I'm not glazing you. I'm not glazing you. There's nobody who's done what you've done and like built this genre like you have, and who's done it in a way that like had bumps in the road. Like you.
I mean, that's very nice of you.
I'm actually not glazing you. I'm just saying that like people, if you walked away today, everybody would remember you as the guy who created the genre, even if the genre went away. When you look in the history books of the internet, Ice Poseidon's, written in stone there.
I mean, if people were to still talk about me in 5 years, then they would say, yeah, he's the guy who, helps popularize IRL, and, he's done some pretty, like, crazy things, and he had, like, he had a whole universe with him, like, this is like a universe, characters and people and stories, and, it's very different than anything else that you'll see out there.
You're basically the George Washington of IRL, and all of us Sandys are basically the people that signed the Constitution with you.
Yeah, you're Ben Franklin.
I'll take Ben Franklin. That guy created electricity.
Yep.
So yeah, you're basically the George Washington of IRL, and everybody else has just been a part of it that helped create the Constitution of IRL. It's a crazy reach, but it's the truth. Like, think about it. You're like, George Washington was the first president. That's you. And then everybody else that came along and was around is what helped build it.
I don't know if I'm fully following that metaphor, but I do appreciate you sitting down with me and talking about this. And am glad that I cut my hair on my own volition to give you a little bit of content. I think it was worth it, and
I appreciate that. That was good content.
I hope that you'll watch the movie when it comes out, and I hope that
No, I'll be right on my couch watching it.
And I hope that you don't stream it. I hope that you just watch it for yourself. I don't want the clout from it or anything. I just want you to watch it on your own with your girlfriend in private. And if you enjoy it, send me a DM.
I mean, yeah, sure.
Because I think that you're an interesting character, and I don't think that you ever deserve your own documentary. And I think that if anyone ever comes to you and asks to make a documentary on you, they've got bad intentions, because you're already making the Ice Poseidon documentary every day, and it's live, and it's on Kick. You know, there's the story that you tell is like...
You know, one day I want to make my own documentary.
Well, don't hire me.
Like a biography. Because I can tell my story way better than anyone else can. And yeah, I won't hire you.
I'll take the job.
No, he's not going to hire you either, unless it's for $300 a day.
Not even a fucking Pelican case.
A Nanak case.
Yeah, I won't do it.
All right. Well, that was great. Thank you.
Are we done?
All right.
Yeah, I'm going to keep you mic'd up because I
Thank
want to
you.
film you guys for a little bit.
Doing what?
Just doing whatever you do after this, and then I'll leave.
Oh, this one's sick? Yeah. Oh,
Jesus, man, my back's broken, bro.
Yeah, I
You're
held
gonna
my
almost
hand.
do a nonsense.
That's what I want, yeah.
I literally held this little shit for 2 hours like this.
good.
I don't know how Taman's doing it. He's just getting him. Doesn't understand anything. Just
Taman's just waiting to say, cocksucker! Hey, Taman, you versus me with guns.
Yeah.
I think Taman's
You want? You want to?
Oh, you haven't seen this shit?
You want to film us do it? You want to film me doing a steak stream?
100%. I would love nothing more.
Now that's some
Shake your
content.
hand, though.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, dude. Seriously.
No, that was that was different than what I thought it would be. So
I told you.
I told you he's not bad, dude.
I told you you had the wrong idea about me.
well, I did. I had the wrong idea about you. I admit it. I just
I
I've had a lot of
I
real.
give a terrible first impression. How about that?
Well,
And it's not just with you. I just, in general, give a terrible first impression. That's why people don't fuck with me.
Well, we'll see what happens when the video actually comes out.
Well, I'll have to send it to you early because you're the executive producer. I'm going to credit you and say produced by Ice Poseidon.
Yeah, we'll see if the video comes out and it's good. Then I'll let you know then.
All right, that's fair.
But I think I mean I've had some bad interactions with documentary filmmakers. So
Don't I know it, and I won't say any other names.